Now for a quick of our Torah. Now for a quick of our Torah. This week's Haftorah underlines what we've been going through with this week's Parsha, especially the rebuke in Bechukotai. There we have a rebuke. What will happen if we don't follow the Torah? And
spoiler alert, it does not end well.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. But it basically, the Torah is taken from Jeremiah. And he points out all the problems, of all societal problems. What he's pointing out is that countries do not get conquered from an enemy from without. Well before the exile, it is destroyed from the inside. There's a lot of rot on the inside. And we're talking about normally. Okay, if it's a small country against a big country, that's one thing. We're talking about in general that the Roman Empire was well on the way to destruction well before the barbarians came to the gates. There was the problem of onerous taxes, corruption, violence. All these things were there.
Licenses, sounds familiar.
Vice.
Like New York. No, all joking aside. But the point is that what Jeremiah is talking about and what the Parsha talks about is well before the destruction, well before exile. The country is being destroyed from within. We all know that the Soviet Union collapsed. There's a well-known story, it's a joke, that one day Brezhnev was taking his mother around, showing her all the good things he had. Here's where I live, this palace. Over here's my dacha. Over here is this, my car, all these great things. And she stops and she says, Leonid, what happens if the communists come back? What happens if the communists come back?
Bolsheviks. We say Bolsheviks.
Why don't you send that to Mondani? Maybe you can understand it.
Anyway, the point that I'm making, and people knew in the Soviet Union that the system was not working. No matter how much they propagated that, all these good things, they knew it was corrupt from the inside. And I remember reading a prediction of the collapse of the Soviet Union back in 1969. There was a fellow, Andrei Amarelek, wrote an essay. One of the two essays that he wrote, the first one was, The Soviet Union will collapse by 1984. And he outlined all the reasons that it would. The corruption, the mismanagement of the economy, on and on and on. His second essay, by the way, was An Unexpected Journey to Siberia. The authorities didn't like what he had to say. But the point is this all goes back to what Jeremiah is saying, and goes back to what the Parsha is saying. Before the collapse, there's a lot of internal problems. Societies don't collapse overnight. There's a lot of things, and remember, in the Parsha it says, and if you don't listen to this, then this is what's next going to happen. You're being warned over and over and over again. So, that you see the problems, and if you don't act on these, and a very famous story of the Rambam, Maimonides. One community wrote him and said, we're having all these problems in the community. The kids don't listen, this is wrong, this is wrong. Maimonides wrote back a one-line answer. Check the butcher. Check the butcher. Check the shochet. And they found out that his knife wasn't kosher. How did he know? Well, he said, it's very simple. If everything is going wrong, who's the one person who will take advantage of people not being careful, not following halacha? It's the butcher because he has to have a knife that's right. He has to have this. He has one of the toughest jobs. Uh, and that's the whole point of the parsha. That's the whole point of everything. We have to be careful how we behave. We have to make a just society. We have to be honest in our dealings. Okay? So it's basically something to think about. Okay.